if you guys know about Mexican independence, but why would you know anything about Mexican independence? And we live in America. So I'm not against people celebrating their own thing, but literally, Mexican independence is Mexicans or Mexico celebrating their independence from Spain back in the 1700s in their land in Mexico City in Mexico. And I could see if it was like closer towards the border because like Texas and the southern border was part of Mexico at one point. So I could see if it was in that area, but they're in Chicago celebrating Mexican Independence Day. And maybe I'm just reading too much into it. You guys let me know. But this is Mexico celebrates its 230th anniversary of independence from Spain. You're not going to know what they're talking about because they're speaking in Spanish.
De primer contacto en lugares de difícil acceso, en coordinación con dependencias de los 3 niveles de gobierno. Hay pláticas de promoción de salud, servicios de apoyo, servicios generales y atención médica y odontológica.
Estoy contento porque ya soy marino. Frase que han expresado los niños marinos honorarios, a quienes la Secretaría de Marina les da siempre la bienvenida a sus filas.
Y hace presencia.
So they're proud, they're singing, I'm assuming their Mexican Independence Day song, maybe similar to the national anthem that we have here, but they're standing.
El sistema educativo naval.
You see the military men, you know, they're standing in attention. You have the announcers and all that great trivial stuff. We're proud to be Mexicans in Mexico because we want to celebrate our independence in Mexico, on Mexico's land, in Mexico. But this is how they celebrated in Chicago. They celebrated Mexican Independence Day in Chicago by beating up police. This happened.
Hey, damn!
You know, they were drag racing. So you got to get some drag racing. And they have their own fireworks too.
I'm scared.
Protect that CDL. Hey, I'm dead.
They shut down downtown Chicago Loop for the parade. And you see all the Mexicans, they had their Mexican homeland flag. There were other things that were happening in Chicago. Now, I don't know if she's Mexican, but this happened. This has happened. Now, I'm not going to show you that part, because literally this lady is naked. So I'm just going to fast forward. So you see the cops, she got in the car with this lady, he trying to arrest her, but she naked. So he was telling her to back up. So instead of backing up, she got in the police car and she did this. Trying to get her out of the car. This happened all on Independence Day. Mexican Independence Day. This happened on Mexican Independence Day. Oh, I'm not done yet. There was another incident. Now, this you could see a group of individuals. Are they Mexican? I don't know. They just said they ghetto news. Okay. So a group of individuals, they decided, oh, we're car shopping. So they busted out the windows. I guess they seen some luggage in his car and got their luggage out the car.
Yo, get the fuck out of my neighborhood, please.
You want to block them in? No, I mean, they'll probably just run into you.
And that's what they're doing in Chicago on Mexican Independence Day. But that's now this is crazy. This is a video of a attack at the Mexican Independence Day parade in Little Village. So I can't really show you all what's going on, but I can narrate it for you. Basically, it was a group of individuals walking, and if this is a parade, some people are inebriated already. And I hate to be stereotypical, but if they're Mexicans, they probably was drinking a whole bunch of beer. So they had exchanged words. Some guy approached another guy, and it was an all-out brawl. And another guy he was wielding a machete. So, and that's what you could see here. They basically jumped each other. I don't know if it was a gang fight, but there's a bunch of Mexicans fighting each other. And you see this one guy, he has the machete, but he didn't cut anybody. So it must have been a dull knife. I don't know. Maybe it was a toy machete. I'm not for sure. But actually, he didn't cut anybody. And finally, the police comes and they tried to break it up. And the one guy started explaining himself.
Hey, bro, I was just celebrating. What the fuck is happening? Back up! Back up!
It's not him.
Five niggas on me! I got 7 guys on me, bro!
Everything okay?
Man, bro, that's my work tool. I was doing the whole thing like a Mexican thing. Bro, I wasn't doing nothing wrong. Bro,
Did you see what the cop picked up? She picked up that machete that the guy had. And I couldn't show it, but the cop ended up drawing his weapon on the guy who had the machete. I'll show it when I post it on Rumble. I'll post the whole video. But yeah, and so the guy ended up dropping it. But guess what? They didn't make no arrests. All the things that we just showed you, the cop being beat up, attacked with the 2x4, them doing donuts and shutting the street off in the street, no one was arrested. The lady that stole the cop car, we don't know who that was, but she stole it and she was naked and she left the scene in the cop car. She wasn't arrested. And then you got these people wielding a blade at each other, an all-out brawl, and no one was arrested. And you might be saying, well, they're just trying to be friendly. I guess so. I guess so. This is what they had to say about this. The loop reopened early this Sunday after a large part of the area were closed again Saturday night for a public safety reason related to the car caravan of people celebrating Mexican Independence Day. The Central Business District reopened to all traffic shortly after 3 a.m., according to the Office of Emergency Management. The CTA buses also returned to their normal loop routes Sunday morning. Due to Mexican Independence Day festivities, Saturday night, the transportation was closed. Okay, so they closed oncoming traffic and they blocked off traffic. But look at this, they got their Mexican flag up. I believe in celebrating culture, but you're celebrating the Mexican independence in America. Does that make sense? A lot of people have a problem with the 13 flag, the 13 colony flag. I forget what you call it. Confederate flag. A lot of people have a problem with that, and which we should. because that's the losing team. So why in the world will we say, oh, it's okay to celebrate Mexican Independence Day and hold their flag up like it's Mexico? And it's not. It's not Mexico. Somebody throw me a lifeline. Am I going in the wrong direction here? This is not Mexico. This is America. And I said, liberals love every un-American people in the United States. Every un-American people in the United States, even the non-citizens, liberals love them. We put America's last. It might not be a big deal to you, but yeah, it's a big deal. And it says at tens of thousands of residents are coming together to celebrate and embrace Mexico rich heritage and independence. The city must remain committed to ensure the safety and security of all those participating in celebratory activities, as well as first responders, medical workers in affected areas. This was from the OEMC, I guess, Office of Emergency Medical, what is that? Emergency Management Communications. So they wanted to keep people safe. However, they didn't. You keep your, residents, or maybe non-residents. We don't know. These might be illegal residents, to keep people safe. And but you couldn't keep your officers safe. Officers were getting attacked and beat up. And the agency said it continues to coordinate the Chicago Police Department throughout the weekend to manage traffic and public safety. Added that they stayed city assets will remain in place if any activities begin to escalate. So that's what the city said. Your mayor was silent. We didn't hear from your mayor. He didn't have nothing to say. He didn't have nothing to say. It's saying a person, okay, so somebody else was shot on the 7300 block. Person shot in officer involved shooting. That means the officer shot the person. But anyway, and you don't hear nothing from the mayor saying anything about what went on. Now, is it as violent as any other weekend? We can't say. We don't know the true numbers until probably Monday morning. We'll probably hear something if things get out of hand. I don't know if they're going to be celebrating today, but the official day was yesterday. So that's what we have in Chicago. That's what we have in Chicago. Now, another thing that's going on in Chicago, besides